The fucking woman at the airport says, I was paid to make this announcement.
I also want you to remember, the only person he's expecting to be there is his fat fuck friend.
Right.
Little bitch boy.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. He is not expecting anyone else. So he somehow prepares in advance, calls an airport, finds out who's going to be on staff at that gate, and then pays for them to say, here comes the most humble man ever. Yeah,
God-awful movies.
Welcome back to the GAM cast, where each week we will lambast a bit of Christian cinema. It's as fun as an ice-cold enema. We watch them spout their venom all the time. I'm your host, no illusions, but I'm not in seclusion. To my left, my buddy Heath Enright, all sexy, bald, and erudite. Sir, I ask you, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Good. Glad to know it. Little musical intro for a little musical episode of the GAM cast. And of course, sitting 989 miles to my right is my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Eli, how you feeling tonight, sir?
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I can't stop crying. I will stop crying. I will.
It was amazing. And of course, sitting 9.5 levels of pizza quality beneath Eli is our special guest masochist, host of the My Book of Mormon podcast, and man whose voice resonates at precisely the same frequency as the clitoris, David Michael. David, welcome to God Awful Movies, sir.
Well, thank you, Noah, and thank you, Heath, and the other one. All right, let's go.
Now, before we go, I've got to say, I learned exactly one day after we invited you on the show, very sad news that you were retiring from My Book of Mormon. Is that correct?
I'm afraid so. So yeah, we the whole point was to read the Book of Mormon. I did that, and then they egged me on to read the Pearl of Great Price, which somehow was even weirder. And then I got like halfway through the Doctrines and Covenants, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So anyway, our good friend Bryce Blankenagel is picking up the sword. He's going to continue and keep the show going without me. So
that sounds like a made-up name, David. Did you just make up a name in the hopes that people wouldn't notice that you're giving up the show?
It's kind of like I took my D&D dice and I rolled it, and I was like, what does that sound like? Blankenagel. All right, got it.
It sounds like something a racist Southerner yells about Obama. Oh, he's a fucking Blankenagel. That's what he is.
That is, in fact, what they yell down here. So we've already kind of hinted around about it, and I think our guest is a bit of a hint as well, but we might as well be official here. So tell us, Heath, what will we be breaking down today?
All right. We watched Saturday's Warror, the original uncompromised 1989 version. And it's a musical.
Yes.
About the Mormon struggle to, as best as I can tell, foil the evil atheist Illuminati, which appears to be a group of gay teenagers that's trying to control the population size with song, dance, and sodomy. And they fight back.
That's actually what this movie's about, guys. And Eli, how bad was this movie?
Well, if you saw Fiddler on the Roof and you thought to yourself, I don't hate this religion enough, well then you are gonna love Saturday's Warror. It's Fiddler on the Roof meets an anti-abortion clinic protester. That's basically what they heard someone inside playing a record of Fiddler on the Roof, and they were like, I can do that, and they wrote a musical. Plus, they got a really good deal on dry ice.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently. And David, what the fuck did we just watch, bro?
Yeah. So I know you were giving me shit for not telling you until a day after that I was actually retiring from my show, but you did not tell me what movie we were watching until the day after I accepted. So, and first of all, I think it's actually offensive to even call this a movie. This is like a high school play where one of the parents was filming it with their camcorder out in the audience. That's
yes.
what we watched. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I can't just like explain everything all at once. We're gonna have to go through it. But yeah, there was. Wow, this one shocked even me, and I thought I was prepared for everything Mormon. I was not. I was not. No. I was not at all.
Apparently not. Nor was I, and I grew up Mormon-ish. So now I should be specific for people who aren't familiar with My Book of Mormon that David is not a Mormon, never was a Mormon. He just decided on a whim, basically, to read the Book of Mormon and has become something of a reluctant expert in the subject, which is why we we asked him on today.
Yeah, I think that's right. This is going to be a little bit of the blind leading the blind here. So, yeah. Everything I know about Mormonism, I've learned over the last 2 years. Before that, I knew, well, basically what South Park had to tell me. That was about it.
Well, everything I learned about Mormonism, I learned over the last 20 days.
Oh, did you binge listen to my show? That's very sweet, Eli.
When you say binge listen, do you mean jerk off too? Because the answer is yes.
I should point out that Eli actually named the notes this week. GAM episode 42, Eli fucks David's milk chocolatey voice.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. There's a reason why we're doing this from separate rooms. Nobody wants a movie review called Get Off Me. Seriously, guys, get him off me.
Well, Eli, my video's on. I don't know why yours isn't. That's kind of weird. I feel like you're looking at me, and it's just not fair.
Oh, he is. He is.
You ever see anyone frantically try to get a sunflower seed from between their thighs? That's what's going on this end of the camera, David.
Love it.
So you're looking for an image.
So now, is there anything that you guys would like to nominate this movie for being the best at, being the worst at?
How about attractive seductresses? The women in this movie who are supposed to pull our protagonist away and seduce him are like strong threes at best. We've got like Oscar the Grouch in one scene and then every 80s ponytail formed into sentience in another. It's not great.
Strong disagree. I was highly attracted to a bunch of these women.
I think you had to be at least partially alive in the 80s, but yeah, I'm not following you down that road,
Look,
man.
I don't mind pubic hair as long as it doesn't reach their face. That's all I'm saying.
No, I was pre-jerking it at age 8 to women just like this.
Yeah, that is what I would vote. I would vote that this movie is the most forgivable if you masturbate to it. Out of any movie that you guys have reviewed so far, this one, okay, there are scenes.
Strong disagree. That nomination still goes to Loving the Bad Man. Different strokes for different.
I was going to go with knowing what the words that they're saying means.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I second.
Yeah,
I second.
That's going to come up a lot, I do believe.
Humble anyone? Humble?
Harry Carey. We'll get there. Also, a quick little bit of housekeeping while we're still in the A segment. We announced our first ever live record of God Awful Movies on the show last week, and as of now, more than half the tickets have already sold. So if you were planning on picking up your tickets, like, eventually, might want to speed up the process as we will be sold out soon. That's Friday, August 12th in New York, New York. And remember, if you're a $10 an episode patron, you get in free. Plus, we've got a pre-show hangout for you, but you need to get in touch with us sooner than later. Email Eli, that's Eli Bosnick, BOSNICK, @gmail.com, or message the GAM Facebook page and we'll set you up. But please let us know as soon as you can so we know how many seats we need to reserve. And with that out of the way, obviously we're all in danger of breaking into song at any moment here. So rather than subject you to that again, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break down all the patent bat shittery that is Saturday's Warrior.
We are an ordinary carry, suicide bomber, murder, Holocaust, off switch.
It's not every day that we're lucky enough to have a voice like David's on the show, and we're going to be damned if we're not going to use it to its fullest potential. So with that in mind, we reached out to our audience and into our deepest desires to ask what folks would like to hear David say. Got a couple of selections here. Do you mind, David?
Are we doing sexy voice on all these, or just reading them?
I don't think you have a non-sexy voice.
I dare you to turn that off. Impossible.
Read.
All right, first up. Chicago-style pizza looks like someone used an old bread bowl to catch the blood Stephen Baldwin shits out. You guys like that one?
Sounds appetizing when you say it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, this one I'm going to enjoy. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. Yeah, that was a good one. My name is Coctimus Prime.
Yes, it is, sir.
Kumquat.
Not sure about that one. I like this next one, though.
Podcast award-winning scathing atheist.
Oh, that sounds sexy. Especially the way you say it.
That girl...
You almost got him to just go right through it.
That gorilla... here we go. That gorilla would still be alive if he was white. Oh, God.
Stand your ground.
That's funny.
We got two more for you if you can make it.
All right.
If you can make it.
All right. Moist. Harley Farina killed her daughter.
I really did. The only reason that Eli wanted you on was for that last line right there, I do believe.
I created the bit. I saw the Facebook fans. It wasn't about them. It was about me. It was about that moment. I have that. It's going to be my cell phone ring every time someone calls me. I'm not going to pick up. I'm just going to let your milk chocolatey voice remind everybody that lady killed her daughter.
And we're back for the breakdown, and we're going to start with a Star Wars-style scroll telling us that this was originally a college drama project, as if to say, hey, don't expect much, folks.
Yeah, and that, right off the bat, I was like, come on now. You can only use Star Wars scrolling text if it's either a Star Wars movie or maybe a Star Wars parody. But, like, that's a bold move to make. Like, that's, you don't just pull that one out of your ass.
Yeah. And a promise that they will not fulfill. We also then cut into what will be the first of about 875 scenes of clouds, and I wrote in my notes, if Jesus doesn't ride the luck dragon, I'm going to be bummed. Fuck this movie.
But you forgot in there, it said that that this film had this play, what do they call it? A stage play. This college drama stage play had captivated millions of people. And I thought, okay, so your college play, millions of people saw it. So right out of the bat, I'm like, this movie's bullshit, and I'm pissed. Thanks a lot, movie. You haven't even made it through your opening Star Wars words, and I'm mad.
And then they also right away let you know how little they know about the dictionary, because they say that this play has had an influence as profound as it is immeasurable. That's true of potato chips and ferret dung or any noun or verb that you say. You might as well have said, once in a generation a film like this comes along, this is such a film. Fucking ridiculous. So yeah, they gave you a bunch of non-endorsing statements, and then we moved down from the stars onto a planet. It's either Earth or Kolob. I don't know how to tell the difference.
It is not clear. We get a little boy in a blouse picking flowers, what appears to be
a girl.
Right. We have a baby that's statistically an atheist now, another screaming child. There's a shot of kids at a playground where they all look just miserable, like you don't know. There's also a little black girl who they needed, so they dressed her like Little House on the Prairie to balance out the racists and the people who wanted to see a black Mormon.
Well, you have to understand, I do know this about Mormons, so they believe that black people are actually cursed Lamanites, right? They're these cursed people, so to put them in the movie, they had to kind of tone it down a little for all the whiteys watching. Like, come on now. We put her in an Amish outfit, so it's okay. It's okay. Calm down.
Well, I love that in this opening we see an Asian kid, we see a Native American kid, we see a Hispanic kid, we see a black kid. It's all going to be white people in the fucking movie. It's almost like they got through it and they're like, we've got that one black guy who just stands in the background and never says anything. We're going to need some kind of diversity at the beginning,
guys. Does he have
guys.
a sister? He does. He does have a sister.
Also, the note I have here is hippie man breastfeeding a baby. I don't remember. I don't remember why I wrote that.
What?
Was there a
I
hippie
wrote down
man?
Woody Harrelson dressed as Conan the Barbarian for some reason. I'm not sure. Was it supposed to be Jesus, like with blonde hair, like Mormon Jesus?
No, that's just a dad. That's just a dad giving suck to a baby.
Why did he have the Rambo headband on? I don't know. That was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. Like you only have to get like 3 minutes into the movie to see what we're talking about. It's disturbing.
Yeah, I wrote, he looks like the How to Be Spiritual guy from YouTube.
Well, and I love too that everybody listening in right now is going, what the fuck are you guys talking about? This is just the opening credits, guys. It just gets crazier. This is the most sane this movie is ever going to be.
We are 4 seconds into this film.
Right.
Yeah, and we're introduced to about 20 people that we'll never see again. It's basically just a bunch of people doing life in slow motion. That's basically it. Very boring people in slow motion. That's it.
And some music also. And my note here for the music is, you just got the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Make-A-Wish Foundation Awards dinner. Didn't seem...
It was a running theme in the music, actually. I think my music note here was, My Book of Mormon is starting. And then we fade into some extraordinarily white dancing and a fog machine, and we don't know right now that we're in heaven, but we are.
Yeah, I thought we were watching So You Think You Can Dance auditions at first.
Lyrical dancing. I wish I could say how many versions of these women I tried to fuck in high school and college.
And it seems like an 80s sitcom character is dreaming about this ballet. That's where it seems to be taking place.
Yeah, but no, they're not in, okay, so we got to call upon your expertise, David. Is this like is this like pre-heaven? Is this like the preface to what the hell is this place? This is where Mormons live before they're born, I guess?
Yeah, so you obviously you have a soul, Noah. Everyone knows that, duh.
Oh, yeah.
So your soul has always existed. And before you got yourself a body, you lived in this place called primordial existence, I believe is what it's called. I also call it pre-heaven, much easier to say. So they're all in pre-heaven because your soul has always existed and always will exist. So that's how Mormons got around this whole eternity concept. They're like, well, just always, 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 and something in the middle.
I think actually that makes it worse because now you have eternities on both sides of your life.
Now you're doubly wrong.
Never ends.
Right.
Never ends.
Twice as wrong.
It's a big circle of eternity.
Now this, I'm not sure if this is part of Mormon doctrine or not, but when you're in primordial heaven, are you always like the same age you will be when we meet you later in the movie?
Oh, I have a lot of questions about that. That's super weird. Yeah. So let's wait for that. But yeah.
Other question about pre-heaven. Is it the heaven that came out before God created heaven? Like he was excited to create heaven and so just a little bit of pre-heaven came out?
You're right. That's what happened. Just a little bit.
It lubricates for the regular heaven. I gotcha. So now we meet the illegitimate love child of Benedict Cumberbatch and MacGyver.
Can we just call him Chandler? I think he was Chandler.
I have him as James Spader's face controlling MacGyver's body like Krang.
Oh, I see.
I have him down as gayer Paul Lind.
He looks like an evil henchman for a hockey-themed supervillain. Looks like Billie Jean King is not my son. Whatever you picture when you hear that sentence, that's what he looks like.
He also just announces several things that are the Eli Bosnick story. Hey, somebody out there, I'm coming. All you can think about is getting down there to those physical bodies. I'm just like, man, they're giving them to me. These are too easy. They're too easy.
Right. So what we're doing here, we're meeting Todd and Julie, who are in pre-heaven, and Julie is worried that once they get to regular Earth, he's not going to love her anymore.
Yeah, she literally says, go ahead, go have your wild fling on Earth. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah, apparently they're heaven married. So this is not just your average marriage. They're heaven married even before they have bodies. So, this is, this was actually a shock to me too. I knew that like once you got, regular married, then you were married forever. I didn't know you already were married even before you were married. This is a whole new level of marriage. Mormons take marriage fucking seriously, apparently.
But don't they just wear it a fucking crazy on their sleeve in a way that none of the other religions do? I mean, we've watched.
It's refreshing.
Oh my God. This was pretty fucking bizarre. Okay. And then we also have to immediately address the sexism of this movie. All right.
Oh yeah.
Because
it does not take long.
Oh my
literally God. Opening words.
Yeah, right, yes. So the girl here is all insecure and she just can't handle things and she's worried about herself being ugly and he won't like her if she's ugly. He doesn't seem to be worried about it at all. Again, we're talking about fucking a guy who's so ugly we had to modify MacGyver to get there. We couldn't just say he looked like MacGyver.
He looks like Tyrion Lannister made out of pancakes and she's worried that he won't love her.
And by the way, she's fucking hot. She's Mormon Jesse Spano.
Noah has binders of women like this. Binders.
Julie is not Christian movie hot. She's like actually hot.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legit hot.
I had, and she has the big 80s hair. For some reason that still turns me on, whatever.
Even before, at this point in the movie, I didn't realize it was a musical yet, right? So you just sent me a link and said, watch this movie. And you said movie. So I'm like, oh God, they're singing. Why are they singing? This is like a terrible cocktail lounge. What's going on?
You're never ready for the singing in this movie. No matter how many songs in they get, every time they start singing, you go, fuck, it's a musical.
It's terrifying.
I'm never ready.
So abrupt.
It's always so abrupt and so much worse than you remembered.
And you keep thinking eventually one of the songs will be good? I'm afraid not.
I never thought that for a second after this first one. So now we meet the heaven dominatrix lady that has a clipboard and shuffles everybody along to the proper vagina. And apparently she catches attitude with every single person who's going to be set down to earth in this movie, she catches attitude with, starting here.
I have fucked unwilling small animals with less Vaseline than the lens of this fucking shot. It's shot like a commercial for warming lube. You can't see the fucking movie. And it continues through this love scene all the way to fucking Miss Cratchit telling him that he's got to hurry up, otherwise he's going to end up, I don't know, in Africa. And she keeps threatening people with being black, too. Like, consistently, when white people don't hurry over to the platform of being born, she's like, do you want to grow up in Detroit? Because you're going to end up in Detroit. I got a 501 that leaves in Detroit. You will get shot in the face in a drive-by. I will see you in 6.5 minutes.
She actually says, do you want to be a missionary to marsupials in Madagascar? Which is not actually possible since they don't exist there. But hey, what does she know?
Even if they did, there's humans there. So like, would you, if there were like, would you go to the fucking zoo and get the marmosets and the fucking, marmosets aren't marsupials. What am I thinking of? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Beavers.
Yeah. Kangaroos. We'll just go easy.
But fair enough. Apparently, marsupials are not above redemption. So
they're not like black people. I mean, come on.
Dude, if a marsupial knocked on your door at like 8 a.m. and wanted to talk to you about Jesus, you'd let a kangaroo in.
Go on. Not a possum though.
Wait, it goes to our Christian movies are all in the same universe because we know that marsupials can go to hell because
that's
we've
right.
seen Hellbone Kangaroo. It's all one movie.
It just ties around to episode 1. Well done, sir.
One movie.
This is a consistent theology.
It makes perfect sense now. I also want to point out just very quickly on Julie. She's clearly not wearing magic underwear. That is so hot. So fucking hot.
It's going to cost her though.
So, right.
Also, real quick, can we talk about the set that they're on, whatever? At one point, I wrote down, I feel like they're about to sell me the mattress they're standing on. They're just having this weird, I don't know. And then the place where we're about to find out, you go from this like primordial, what was it called? Whatever
primordial existence.
Okay, you go the way to get.
I'm
from
saying
there,
that with such confidence, and I might be wrong.
All right, well, the way to get from there in this movie is you stand up on like the ring from the Kumite in Bloodsport, and then I have no idea what's happening.
And then Scotty beams you up. Yeah.
Yeah, you climb to the top of the little Aztec temple there. They had
right, and then 2 Japanese guys all in black run on and like run you back off.
Right.
It was. Vultures of Horror definitely had better special effects in this movie.
Oh,
I didn't think that was possible, but it did.
Yeah. Even for 1989, these were pretty fucking bad. And we should point out, too, that this whole thing is a play, right? It's not like staged like a movie. They're filming the sets from a play the entire fucking time. So, just to give you the right visual here. So now fucking MacGyver Cumberbatch goes to Earth or whatever, and Julie's all sad because she's going to be all alone, and I guess all of her future siblings show up to hang out with her and comfort her.
This is where it gets weird.
Yeah. So they all like crowd around her and talk about how happy they are and how they're always going to be a family no matter what. I just wrote in my notes, I would choose hell over these people. I'm not sure this is heaven, but I would choose hell over these people.
They're a terrible family. In heaven, we'll later find out that they're even worse on Earth, but even in heaven, they're insufferable. They're literally negotiating how many of us can fit in mom's womb together. Like, what is going on?
Also, why is everyone dressed like a mildly gay pirate from India? Is that a normal thing?
All had the monochromatic heaven jammies or whatever.
Pastels, yeah.
But then we get down to the youngest girl. I can't remember her name,
Emily.
Sally or some shit. Emily, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So she's worried because by the time it gets to me, quote, Mom and Dad might be out of gas, which is fair criticism. You know, there are quite a few kids there. And it's just like, yeah, maybe Mom's vag is just too banged up for you to make it out, so I guess you're just going to go bodiless for all eternity.
She doesn't know. She's just going to slide out like a fucking someone mailed you a Chipotle burrito.
But then Benji, little shit Benji, then says, "What if?" I'm not going to say it.
Well,
it's too sensitive a word.
So I actually wrote in my notes, what is Emily worried that she's going to get aborted? And then the character actually says that. She's like, well, only 1.7 kids per family. There's 7 of us, not to mention abort. And he gets about that far in. And
close your little baby ears, schmishmorshman. Yeah.
I'm just talking about family planning.
And also, at 1.7 kids per family, I mean, first of all, those families have about 1.0 moms per household. So it's not really fair to be comparing that to Mormons. But also, I mean, that's just unfair. But also, they seem to think 1.7 kids per family somehow means like every family murders 3/10 of a child? Like, what?
Saws the arms off at the elbows or whatever.
Oh, that's coming up later where they have to make that choice.
That's true. That's true.
That's a real thing. It is
Speaking of
coming
which,
up.
yeah, exactly. We're going to meet, now we're going to meet the twins, Pam and Jimmy, who are supposed to be playing twins, but are clearly fucking. Like, they were fucking before, like, when they said lights and camera, they were fucking and stopped for action.
Yes, someone stopped them from fucking to push them out on stage. Like,
yes.
She walked out on stage and he slid out of her. That's what's going on between these two characters. And they don't hide it. It's written in the script. Like, I assume that during rehearsal he was like, great, so, Jimmy and Stella and Danny, you have dance call, and you guys, you just bury into each other. I don't care who's on top. I don't care who's on bottom. I just want you both to come back wet and full.
It never stops. The entire movie. Every time they're in a scene together, their hands are on each other's thighs. They're
so
breathing
fucking
close.
weird.
It's like, you're twins. This is just not cool, man. Not even for Mormons.
Right.
I've never wanted twins to fuck so much since the Olsen twins turned 18.
18, my ass. So now we're going to meet two other guys who I would bet money were the inspiration for the Book of Mormon musical.
Yeah, no question.
I
Almost certainly.
Yeah. So we get our Josh Gad of this movie and his sidekick, or vice versa. And these two guys, by the way, would look out of place anywhere but on bicycles with starch white button downs. And they're going to sing us the third song of the movie. And this has the most spectacularly bizarre lyrics of anything I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, because at this point, the dry ice smoke was so bad that you literally could not see anything going on in the movie, so I just wrote in my notes, we get it, movie, you vape. But yeah, they're going to sing the We Don't Know English song.
Right. Well, first of all, they're singing about how humble they are. That's like drowning a fish. You can't, that doesn't, but they also have this line, we've already alluded to it, where they're like, we're not just the ordinary, we are extraordinary. And they actually say, working righteous Harry Carey. I went back like 6 fucking times to make sure. I looked at the lyrics online. They are saying that means ritual suicide. That means carving your bowels out with a sword. What the fuck could they possibly have meant there?
I was thinking they might mean Harry Carey, like the baseball announcer.
Right.
It's still confusing, but less so by a little bit, maybe?
I don't know. Yeah. So bizarre. I think they were just like, well, it rhymes. No one will
Right,
notice.
yeah.
No one will notice.
There's no question there was a writer's meeting and it was like 11 o'clock, which is bedtime for Mormons, and they were like, so Brian, I mean, we've got the word ordinary, and he was like, how about Harry Carey? And everyone was like, that's fucking stupid. And he was like, $1 in the swear jar, so they kept it.
So I know, these guys are going to keep coming back, so we need to like give them names. So I think the Jimmy, the one guy I thought looked like Jimmy Vollmer from South Park, you know, the little crippled comedian kid.
Jimmy!
For sure. And the others I thought was Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But
Yeah,
the little bitch that just says, whatever you say, Kressler. I'll do whatever you say. That one? Yeah. Totally Bubbles.
All right. I had him as this movie's Josh Gad the entire time, but yeah.
Yeah.
So then the clipboard lady shows up to tell him to hurry the fuck up. And I'm thinking, like, man, you let Todd and Julie have 2 extra choruses. You should at least let these guys fucking jump in the back and have some sodomy before they go. But no. And this is, oh my God, I've got like 9 pages of notes about the marsupials in Madagascar. So while I'm scrolling, you guys can pick it up from there.
Well, how about how excited Jimmy Vollmer gets when he says, we're going down at the same time? And I wrote in my notes, the Eli Bosnick story. Check it on bingo, bitches.
So then those two, whoever the fucks they were, bamf away, and clipboard lady returns to the rest of the kids. And I gotta ask, did anyone else catch the line cue here?
No.
Okay. If you watch it again, and you're not going to, but if anybody who hasn't watched it yet, very, very clearly, someone off screen says, I messed that up once. And the lady goes, I messed that up once.
I'm so excited to watch it again. No, I'm not.
That's great.
No, but let's dive into that. Yeah. The woman that just sent these people to go into some woman's womb to become babies admits to the family, I messed that up once. And don't worry though, because there was a nurse that fixed it. So I wrote down, is this movie actually admitting that science is smarter than God? Because that's what it sounds like.
Or which angel was in charge of that? Just like, fuck it, Brian, get down there. Well, because Allison sent them at the wrong times. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, I know you're a giant winged lion made out of fire, but I need you to do that. Move one from there. No, cut 1 and 3. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, and this is also, by the way, because then the two twins start rubbing each other's thighs, and once again, the girl is scared, so the guy has to man up and tell her it's going to be okay.
Wait. We got to talk about this. We got to live in this for a second.
All right,
because
pants are
they're
unzipped.
about
Let's
to
go, Eli.
go. And I wrote in my notes, these actors fucked hard, these actors fucked crying. But she looks at him and says, promise me, Jimmy, promise me you'll recognize me. And I wrote in my notes, promise me you'll figure out that I can only come when I can't breathe. So the secret thing they figure out to do together so that they know that they belong together in pre-heaven is to put their hands on each other's upper thighs.
Inner thigh, yes.
Upper thigh. They might as well have put a finger inside each other. It's like 3, 2, 1. That's how we'll know it's you.
Oh, and remember what he calls it. He says, let's try an experiment. Yeah. Doing an experiment.
Yeah.
And what's even better is she says, what's an experiment? It's like, you dumb bitch. How stupid are they making women out to be in this movie? This is unbelievable. What's an experiment?
And it just gets worse and worse.
Also, I noticed at this point, he looks like a Japanese man in whiteface.
Oh my God, he does.
Yeah, good. Check it out. It's really good.
And also, this is where we first get the backup dancers, and you couldn't even tell if they were shooting for in unison.
No.
Honestly, it seemed like one of the dancers is always buffering, and I'm not sure how that's possible. But that's what it looked like when I was watching it.
And also the song is not even remotely related, and this is going to happen a lot, it's not even remotely related to what was going on up till that point. They might as well have started singing Hakuna Matata.
Oh, it's funny. I wrote down Aladdin's A Whole New World Mormon style. So yeah, we're on the same page.
And then just to make sure that we understand right away that this movie's going to get good and fucking dark, Wally Kessler, the guy who got bamfed down with this movie's Josh Gad, shows back up because I guess he was miscarried?
Someone swallowed him.
Right.
And the line we get, he's describing what happened to him. Mm-hmm. He says, I was screaming down this incredible tube of light, and then wham, I'm back here.
And the mean admin Mormon bitch, her response is, oh, it happens all the time.
Right.
Oh, don't worry, that was a fleshlight. It's cool. We thought it was a vagina too.
Well, no wonder. No wonder it happens all the time. Who doesn't have one of those?
Yeah.
But now we get the scene where the little girl from before who was scared that mom and dad are going to get done funneling things outside of her flap curtains. She makes Jimmy promise to make mom and dad fuck. That's basically what she's like, promise me, Jimmy, promise.
Is this where she swears that she'll die for him?
Yes.
And he smiles?
He's like, yeah, you sure will. That'll be in the sequel, but but let's discuss the logistics of that for a second, though. Yeah, because before he leaves, I don't know if they know in primordial heaven or whatever, if, about fucking, but Jimmy says, I promise you'll be born. Like, what is he gonna do? What was his plan? How is he? Anyway.
Oh, Mom, Dad, I prepared you these oysters. What's this? A Barry Manilow record?
Let's get it on.
What's this? David Michael to narrate 50 Shades of Grey?
It is
Hey,
fair,
Mom,
though.
come sit on this speaker. He's going to hum into it.
But nothing about this pre-heaven makes any sense, does it? Like, how can there be kids? How can there be a 4-year-old? Like,
who's been 4 years old for eternity, apparently.
I actually said, I thought, I assume that she's going to be born and die when she's 4, so is this like...
okay.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
That wouldn't be the darkest part of this movie. So now we're going to cut to the airport here. Now we're outside of pre-heaven. We're at an airport, and Julia's all grown up.
We are 20 seconds into this movie.
I know. Right. This scene is actually one of my favorites. This was awesome.
It was awesome. So, and this really, really underscores, because at first you're just like, oh, maybe that line was just kind of sexist. Maybe I'm no, this movie is amazingly sexist. So Julie is with Wally, the guy who got miscarried earlier. Apparently he got born and him and Julie got together. You catch up.
Yeah, let's not forget, she's already heaven married to, what are they calling him? MacGyver somebody?
Yeah.
So she's already heaven married to this
The
guy.
world's gayest sketch artist.
Right.
Actually, that's it.
Yeah,
that's the
we'll
one.
get there.
But yeah, so and then all of a sudden she's at an airport, like the next scene, and she's got a new man, which by the way is kind of a habit for Julie, as we'll find out. So she bounces around a little bit. So just get used to it.
She does. So yeah, and then now Wally is going off to his Mormon mission. He's going to be gone for 2 years. He's going to California. And she's supposed to wait for him. As a matter of fact, she signed a contract promising her vagina would stay, free of everything non-tampon until he gets back.
And I just want to take a moment, okay? I have spent the last 4 days asking my fiance if she will do the dish in the sink. the dish. And this woman signed a contract to wait to get fucked for 2 years.
Yep.
It's a cereal bowl. I'm gonna do it when we hang up.
And she wants his cock so bad, she drops to her knees, wraps her arms around his legs, and begs for it. Just like, don't
really
go,
does.
I need the D. And
Yeah, no, I
needs
paused on
the
that scene
D.
for quite a while. I remember it quite well. Oh, yeah. So that now we sing another. So now we get like 3 more couples that show up. This is where we see our first black guy. And they're all going to sing and dance together about the I'll Wait for You Mormon song or whatever.
Also, Crazy Billionaire Money. I remake this, and then after the Mormons leave, we just watch these girls get rammed by Nubian gods. We just watch just giant black men with swinging black cocks just come in and wreck the stage. With that little girl in the yellow dress watching the entire time. Just
there you go.
Like, she's excited. She's not scared. She's just excited to be next.
Hey, she's eternity years old. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that.
Eli, you don't
this
need billionaire money with Julie. You could just walk up to that girl and say, I've been talking to Jesus, and he told me that you choking on my cock will actually make him super happy. So let's see if that works.
I have a contract right here for you. Also, and I'm surprised we haven't brought this up, but am I the only one that feels like songs should rhyme here and there?
Yeah, it's weird because there's a rhyme occasionally, which makes you think you're missing out on the other rhymes. It's like you're being gaslighted by the movie because it'll be like, we're together forever, we'll be apart never, hamster clock, penguin racquetball, glasses, red hat. And you're like, wait, hold on. The first one's rhymed, right? Also, I want to point out, I looked at Anna after she said, quote, like a faithful girl waits for a missionary, and she slapped me in the balls and left the room. So if you're wondering where Anna...
It's probably best that she left the room when she did. I actually have a couple of did Anna leave nows in my notes here. And now, just in case this movie was starting to make sense to you, we cut to,
Jamie Gertz in a wheelchair?
Oh,
yes.
God,
I've had this dream before. Wait, no, never mind.
Yeah,
It
so
changes.
the twin girl that loved to dance in heaven is in a wheelchair now. She can still be in the Nutcracker, as I understand it. So it's not all
Do
bad.
we ever find out why she's in a wheelchair?
Just
Because fuck her. That's
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I thought it just
Pretty
because
much.
she sucked at dancing so much in heaven, God was like, fuck you, you're not dancing anymore.
yeah, right.
You know what it was? That phasing didn't go super well. That lady messes up all the time. She was like, oh, she adjusted it wrong, and she was like, fuck, I didn't send the spine. I'm gonna get in trouble. Can we switch the baby's spine with another babe? No?
All the kids are using their spines. Come on, all the kids.
We'll use the luge. It'll be fun.
All right, so Heath, describe this scene to us.
Yeah, good luck, anybody.
This really happens. Yes, it does. This is a musical number, including Jamie Gertz in a wheelchair, starring Jamie Gertz in a wheelchair, about big noses that
Daddies.
Mormon dads have.
Yes, they're all singing the "Everyone Has Dad's Nose and It's Really Big," and they're all wearing fake noses and doing Jimmy Durante impressions. Yes, that is what's fucking happening in this movie. I wouldn't, if I just made some shit up, I would have said hamster racquetball something or whatever, like Eli did. But no, they're doing a Jimmy Durante, dad has a big nose. They even say at one point, even mom has daddy's nose. So more incest in this movie. And will this ever make sense? Will there ever be a reason for them to be singing a big nose Jimmy Durante song all together as a family? Fuck you for even asking.
But I did have to pause and look up this movie because I thought, like, is this Fiddler on the Roof? I didn't think this was a Jewish family. But, I mean, I don't know.
And so now we cut to the cool kids, and I love the cool kids. First of all, there is no one in this scene that I would not fuck with 2 beers in me.
I didn't
Not
even.
a soul.
Same notes, except for the, I don't even have the beer part. Just,
Strong
fuck them
disagree.
all.
Strong disagree. Everyone here looks like hepatitis C got one wish. I do
sorry.
not know what you are talking about.
The chick in the black culottes is crazy
They all
fucking
look
hot.
like they fucked someone to get into West Side Story, but then he didn't cast them even though they fucked them. You are all crazy.
Eli,
Oh, come on, at
you're
least
telling
the
me
guy
that-
in the
You're telling
denim
me
jacket.
Don Johnson
Yeah,
winking
right.
at you did nothing? Come on.
Everyone looks like... I could swab the hair from the drain and fuck that before I would fuck anyone that's in this scene.
Oh my God. I don't
They
know where
all
you
look
put
like
your
a
dick
commercial for Tanner that went terribly wrong during a bus accident.
then. Go on.
but in a good way.
I'm unzipping.
So-
Go on. Say more.
So now, as if this movie hadn't gotten bizarre enough, and it apparently hadn't up to this point, the cool kids are singing to Jimmy, who is the twin brother of the wheelchair girl, about how socially irresponsible their Duggar family with their 7 kids is.
Yeah, their goal is 0 population, so apparently they've also been reading the Georgia Guidestones.
They meant 0 population growth. That's what they were looking for, but they left out growth, so they're singing about murdering all the humans.
I thought they were going for like helix or population extinction, like the Ickle books, you know?
Well said.
I have no idea.
Well, actually,
Nothing
No
but
idea what that
subterranean. Tom and Cecil get it. Tom and Cecil are cracking up right now. They're having to read that
You're
book.
Oh, you know
confusing
why?
it.
Because you mispronounced the name. You're talking about David Icke?
Ickle.
There's no L in the dude's name.
Well, it's
Sorry.
actually half David Icke and half another author, so he's a chimera, of course. A chimera of sorts. I don't know.
Eli, I think you're confusing it because Lil Wayne in this scene explained it all to us. It's all Planned Parenthood. It's called. It's all Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're singing a song about the importance of condoms. One of the lines in here is about, this is the actual line. You realize abortion is the answer, my friend. Without it, there's no peace of mind. Now, I agree.
Fair.
I agree
Is
with
that
this.
Filipino Bruce Lee who says that?
Yes. That's
I also love that his choices here. Now remember, this is supposed to be like the evil tempting people, right? So this is like the devil on your shoulder telling you to do the bad things. So the choices they give him are, do you want a nice set of wheels? So this is the evil choice. Or the holy choice, 47 kids. Those are your choices. Wow. Making it pretty easy on us, guys.
Seems like a false dichotomy, but okay.
Also, if you want to have a dark moment, just remember that this is the most fun the women who acted in this scene ever had in their entire lives. It was the only time they were allowed to wear outfits like this. It's the only
Right.
time they were allowed to dance like this. This is how they put themselves to sleep for the next 16 years.
I've been to Salt Lake City. You do not see skin like you do in this scene. There's a lot of skin. So enjoy it, Mormons. It's worth it. This is the closest you're getting to porn, Mormons. So have fun.
Also, I want to introduce my absolute favorite character in this entire movie. There's what appears to be a gay black biker, gypsy, fortune teller, Rastafarian predator alien in this.
I believe I already...
Gang.
Lil Wayne. Right. Yeah. Go on.
Yes.
Well, if he doesn't become the main character, I'm going to be very disappointed in this movie.
You are going to be very disappointed in this movie then. So now we're at home with the Duggars.
Time for Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. The fucking
The exact same.
So do I, yeah. So the little daughter is asking mom, hey mom, do you love us all the same? And she's like, what do you mean, honey? I'm like, that's not need a clarification. You're just stalling. And she's like, well, my teacher was reading us this story where a mom had to give up one of her kids. I'm like, the teacher read you Sophie's Choice? Really?
So the kids decide to play like Sophie's Choice, the board game with the family.
The kids basically
Crazy.
decide to do Hunger Games in their heads.
Yeah, right.
And they try to give her an out. They're like, hey, how about just the stuffed animal? Just say the stuffed animal. And the mom's like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
We do have this broken one in the wheelchair
That's
here.
what
Come on,
Dad
guys.
says. Dad's
Yeah.
first choice is, what about that Pam cripple bitch? I don't know.
What about the
Who could do without that
broken one? She's dead from the waist down, so that's like halfway there
she's
already.
halfway there. It's only a
we have to-
0.7 kid anyway.
Do we have to paralyze one of you if we kill her? I don't know how that works.
And by the way, did I hear correctly that the monkey's name is Monkey Face? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Monkey
and
Face.
no one at home, Urban Dictionary Monkey Face. Just promise me you won't do that.
Do it. Google image, show it to your kids. Don't look at it first. Just Google image, save
them
search
to
off,
tell you.
show it to your child.
Monkey Face.
So,
Now there's one person in the room though that does say, wow, this is fucked up. There are too many kids here. And apparently that's just an evil thing to say.
yeah, that's Jimmy, who is wearing about 1/5 of his shorts.
I can see Jimmy's balls so well. I'll never not see Jimmy's balls. Every time I close my eyes, I see Jimmy's balls for the rest of my life.
So
you never
yeah,
look directly at him.
exactly.
Rookie
What the hell were
mistake.
you thinking? So he starts giving them shit for having too many kids, because I guess his friends are picking on him for coming from such a big family. And like, this is like the worst thing that has ever happened to this family. This is the biggest problem they have ever had to face together.
Yeah, it's no issue to figure out who would we kill if we had to, but apparently
Right,
the thought
right.
of one more, horrifying.
And so they sing a song about it. The parents
Yep.
sing a "Why doesn't our song want us to fuck?" and "Why do my parents keep fucking?" song.
Yeah.
Duet, trio.
And in my notes, it just says, "Is this an anti-condom movie?" I think that is the plot.
There will be no plot.
So now Jimmy goes outside where his wheelchair sister is sitting out there looking at the stars, talking about how much it would suck if they were all atheists.
She's pretending
And-
to look at the stars. We see
Well,
our eyes
yeah.
on those balls. Come on.
Also, this actress, she might as well be kicking her legs back and forth in that wheelchair.
right.
It is. Also, can we talk about how fucked up it is? So it's already fucked up that their signal that they love each other and that they're soul siblings is to put the hand on the inner thigh, but she's paralyzed from the waist down, so we can assume she can't feel that.
Oh, yeah.
So he puts a hand on her thigh and she's like, I don't know, man, what are you doing down there?
Remember we talked about the finger inside me? This will be better.
Yeah, but she longingly looks at him and says the words, "You forgot your sword." And I was like, what usually happens out on this deck? I'm not sure.
Yeah, she goes like, she has this whole big spiel about how she, like, his quest for freedom has begun or something, because apparently they figured the movie had to start or whatever, and that was them trying to make that happen.
We also get some jingly keys in this scene. He asks
Yeah.
why God would let her be trapped in a wheelchair like that, and her answer is, you want all the answers at once instead of these jingly keys I've got right here.
No, her answer was
Jingly-
stars. That was her answer.
Yeah.
Why are you crippled? Why did God make you crippled? And she said, because stars. I don't
More or
know how
less.
that adds up.
Now, and then of course this is where we get into song 9, and possibly
Jesus,
no
we're
songs.
already at song 9?
Of 16, yes. And I don't think any song pissed me off lyrically more than this one, because I'm a pedantic fuck. But the chorus of this song is line upon line, precept on precept. Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone who knows what the word precept means already knows where I'm going here. You can't put a precept on a precept, otherwise it would just be a sept.
Yeah.
You would have to put that's what precept means, is that before we start moving, we've already accepted this, you fucking idiot.
I still don't know what
things
line
that
upon line means, so sure.
Yeah, I was stuck on light
a cocaine
upon
joke.
light upon light as a lyric. I also wrote in my notes, I never knew precept and wisdom rhymed until today.
And where it did rhyme, it was like a 12-year-old writing a sad poem, you know?
Also, fun game to play. Jimmy's eyebrows get darker every single scene. So if you watch, eventually he has just some rare jungle caterpillar crawling across his face, but it gets it gets darker and darker as the scene progresses. It's good times.
Yeah.
Also, just really quick, there's a lot of airspace inside 80s shirts, it seems. It's like a bag of chips. Everybody's just kind of like swimming or crunching around in there. Enormous
They were
shirts.
all trying to fool us into thinking they were fat and had giant tits back then. Yeah. So remember Julie? Yeah, me neither. She's the hot one that looks like Mormon Jesse Spano. Anyway, so last time we saw her, she was with Wally, promising to never, never, never touch another dick again until he got back. Next time we see her, she's going out with Peter.
Oh, don't let her off the hook so easy, Noah. don't forget that the first time this is the third time we've seen her. The
Oh,
first
that's
time
right. Yeah, so
she was
she was
in heaven with her married heaven husband or whatever.
Right.
Then
Todd,
she
yeah.
was with Wally. Now she's getting all primed and proper for. But let's be honest, it was just a friend named Peter. Just a friend.
Right. Who she eventually ended up engaged to. Yeah.
So now they sing the "Time for a Let Me Fuck Someone Else" song.
Yeah, it's a fuck buddy song. They sing a fuck buddy song.
Yeah, and she basically sends a letter to Wally saying like, "Look, I just need some D. Get over it. I'm still keeping my promise, but I need some D."
Wally, unless you can mail me 6 inches of cock, I'm gonna have to put this on hold. So many times I can slide down the banister before my parents get suspicious, Wally. Wee! Again. It's 4 a.m. Sure fucking is.
I heard a line in this song where she said she had dozens of these friends, and I was like, damn.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
She is getting it. Good for
Yeah.
you, Julie. Good for you.
The Mormon girls don't usually get to be that free. And of course, my note here is, musical or not, you could have just shot this in a real bedroom. You guys do know that? No, you don't? No, okay, never mind. So then of course we get like 2 different songs here, because first we get her singing about having dozens of fuck buddies, but then we get the back and forth song where like she's singing a letter to Wally and Wally's singing a letter back, and they're slowly growing apart. He's also going through more and more Mormon companions. Is that like a euphemism for gay lover, David?
Well, in the case of Bubbles, for sure. Those
Yeah,
two
yeah,
are
no
so
question.
clearly fucking. Do I even need to say
Well, he
it?
also has this moment. He says he put his companion in the hospital.
Yeah, he overworked him. So
Do you guys
either
remember
way,
this?
yeah, uh-huh.
They show paramedics carrying him out on a stretcher.
Yeah, he says the guy's lazy, and then in the next letter he says he put him in the hospital, and I was like, fuck, that guy's hardcore about missionary work.
But he still hasn't baptized a single person. He's really bent out of shape about it.
Yeah. Again, this is where the My Book of Mormon or not the My Book, that's your show. Where the Book of Mormon musical parallels really started coming through, because they hadn't baptized a single soul. So either they suck at it, or Mormonism is crazy, or both. But this is where he finally meets up with 80s Josh Gad, who, quote, does whatever I tell him without asking any questions, end quote. So yeah, his gay lover.
Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, if there is any sexual tension in that movie, it's those two. Way more than the brother and sister, for sure. And this comes up again. I won't even spoil the end airport scene, but yeah, Bubbles gets his wish, for sure.
Yeah, he fucks him in the end. Yeah, exactly.
He gets his man. Good for him.
So during this letter writing back and forth thing, we establish, of course, that nobody could keep up with him because he's such a good missionary, so they sent Josh Gad there to help him out. But also she dumps him during a split screen that looks like a local Cash for Gold commercial.
Yeah, I didn't catch that right away. Apparently she dumped him and got engaged to Peter all in a letter. It was really hard to follow, but that happened apparently.
Yeah, my note here was Mormon dreams ripped at the seams. It was right out of Grease.
Love it.
A little bit of Freddie My Love in there too. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but without the rhymes. So then we cut. Okay, so now Wally and Fat Guy. Did he have a name? I'm sure he had a name at some.
Drew Carey the Mormon.
Oh, Harold. Harold's his name.
Harold, that's right. Yeah. So Wally and Harold are at the beach in San Diego, and Wally's all bummed because his girlfriend just broke up with him, and he hasn't baptized anybody. And of course, they don't really ever address this, but this is the story of Mormonism ruining Wally's life.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
And they decide that the way to do it is to give it a really hard try at converting people.
And his methodology is
to get up on a bench and make animal sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my notes, he's having a breakdown. This wasn't scripted. There was very clearly someone that screamed, cut, give him his pill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for people that have listened to this show, you probably assume that Eli's just saying something silly. No. This really happened. He got on a park bench and started mooing and quacking and what was his excuse? This is what Idaho sounds like or something?
Yeah, these are the sounds of Idaho, which is where I came from to tell you all about Moroni or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is far less disturbing than the other ways he tries to start converting people, which is about to happen.
Like leaping in front of them as they're walking by.
Or grabbing a child off of a moving skateboard, picking him up,
I can
and
explain
asking
that
him
one.
how old he is.
That one has an explanation. This one I know. So they grab this
Really?
kid going on a skateboard, and he shakes him and says, "Are you 8?" And the kid says, "No, I'm 6." And he says, "Oh, crap," and puts him down. Now, the reason that matters, follow me here. In Mormonism, there's a thing called the age of accountability. Yeah, it's very fancy.
It's 8.
8.
So, like, if the kid was like, "I'm old enough to party,"
If
like,
you
it
are
would've been fine,
7,
and
if
they
you are
would've-
7.5, you can murder someone, and that is fine. Do your thing. But when you turn 8, it's all over. But yeah, that's when sin counts, and you can get your ass baptized. So they can totally, if they want to get their baptism counts up, roll into a elementary school and start dunking second graders. They can just rack it up.
One question, one statement. One, is the age of whatever you just said also the age of consent? Because I will change religion on this show.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, in Mormonism, you get to add infinity to everybody's age, Eli, so...
Nice.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm going to use that in my upcoming hearing.
Yeah, it's called, Your Honor, they were always legal.
Second thing, and I need to point this out because this is very important. Noah sent me the outtakes from this scene. And the outtakes from this movie are kind of lame. They're just people messing up their lines, except for this scene where the Wally character keeps picking up the kid and hurling him to the ground like he's spiking a goddamn football.
He does. Like
They're on
3
YouTube.
times.
We'll put it on the show notes. But in this outtake, it's fucking terrifying because they keep picking the kid up and going, "Are you 8?" And the kid goes, "No, I'm 6." And he just fucking spikes the kid's face into the ground. And the kid's like, "Ah!" And they're like,
By
"You
the end of
okay?"
it, the
And
kid
he's
is clearly crying and doesn't want to do it anymore.
He's
and
always, and they go once more, and he's just like, he keeps, it's like he's gonna break his back like fucking Batman. It's fucking terrifying. Watch the outtakes of this scene. Obviously, Wally hated children and just continually tried to murder this child during the shoot.
Well, he wasn't a real human yet. He wasn't 8. So
Well,
it's
right.
fine.
He's only 6 years old. He's useless.
Yeah.
So now, okay. So then they walk away, and you guys remember Todd? No, of course not. He's the guy who looked like Benedict Cumberbatch. Fuck MacGyver.
Yeah, it looks like Dawson's Creek fucked Porky Pig.
Let me just
It
say,
looks like Steve Irwin's fetus.
you got it. That's the one. What is it now? What are we calling him?
the rapey professor from Saved by the Bell, the college years?
Yeah, that's him.
Jeremiah Lasky? Yeah, I know.
So-
I know his name.
So,
That's right.
so that's two Saved by the Bell references we get in this movie. So Todd is drawing on the park bench, and he's singing about how jealous he is of all the Mormons' Mormoniness.
I don't know. It seemed like he was jealous of what he's drawing. He's like, I'm drawing these people, and they look just way better lives than I have. It's like, dude,
We should explain. Todd has a magical power in this movie.
that's right.
I'm going to
So
say that
bizarre.
again because I need it to be heard by other humans. Todd has a magical power in this movie. Namely, he can draw people's potential.
What?
That's what he says. Even his
So
own.
he's-
Even his own.
Yeah, so he's drawn himself as he wants to be, and he's just eye-fucking his own picture. This is very clearly supposed to be the Castro, right? Like, this is some gay guy hanging out at the Castro, showing 19-year-olds like, this is what you could be, huh? How about the bushes? No? All right.
Oh, no. That scene comes up, and it's even creepier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it couldn't be clearer what his motivations are here. So now we go back to Julie, the sleut, and she's in love with Peter now. Now, this is the first time I wrote, just a wild guess, this is where Anna left, isn't it?
Yeah, I had coaxed Anna back into the room at this point, and her list of things she wanted to be as a wife literally made Anna growl, like getting too close to a strange dog. I'm sitting there on the couch, I'm typing in my notes, I've got it paused, and I'm like, that's weird, the heater's going, and I just hear Anna going, as this girl lists the things.
Well, I first love her first list is everything Peter gives her everything she ever wanted, which is, and I quote, waking, sleeping, laughing, weeping. That's everything you've ever wanted, huh?
I guess,
so life.
yeah.
All right. That's fun. Yay.
Just need a sandwich and a weepy blowjob. That's good.
The Eli Bosnick story.
And she says afterwards that she wants to be a good wife for him. And to her, that means cooking, cleaning, and I guess using a lot of base to cover up the black eye.
Yeah, one thing she notably didn't mention was being faithful, because she hasn't really done that very well so far in this movie.
Hey, you know what? Julie can fuck whoever she wants to fuck.
Hey, I ain't
She's
judging her. I ain't judging her.
hot.
Just saying.
And but that's okay because it's time for her to do another song about how much she loves Peter, featuring a sweet Spanish guitar and a Casio keyboard.
Oh, yeah. And what's the name of this song? Make yourself
knows?
Worthy for your man.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
Right.
That's actually the goddamn name of the song. So then we cut back to the Dugars' living room where they're all, taking the wheelchair girl for a ride.
Right, but then the two brothers are fighting. Baby Donald O'Connor and Jimmy are in a big fight.
And we never know what it's about, but at the end
we know
of
what
it,
it's about. It's very
What is
clear. Benji got his nose in Jimmy's business. He said
Oh.
it several times. Keep your nose out of my business. Which, for some reason, when Todd gets his nose all up in his business in the park, that's fine later on. But for right now, he does not like it.
He shoves him at the end of this fight, and baby Donald O'Connor acts like he has internal bleeding.
Oh, yeah, he
Like
pushed
his
him to
ribs
death.
are he pushed him to death. I expected him to get crazy whisper disease from Left Behind.
Well, here's what I don't get about this movie. With the exception of Pam, who, yeah, she's in a wheelchair, but she's actually kind of a nice human being throughout this movie. Every one of the other siblings are complete assholes to each other throughout the entire movie. They're constantly just all up in each other's shit. But for some reason, they're like, oh, Jimmy was mean. What do we do to save Jimmy? It's like, you're all assholes. I don't know why you're picking on Jimmy. But yeah.
I just want to point out that you just said, and I don't know exactly how you meant this, she was in a wheelchair, but she's a good person.
Well, when
I
you word
agree.
it that way.
David, you and I are the two ones that are brave enough to say it. People in wheelchairs are assholes, and I'm finally... David Michael of the My Book of Mormon podcast, which is available for an iTunes review at any moment, is the first brave soul to say, again, at My Book of Mormon on Twitter, is the first one to say that disabled people are, and I'll say it, broken. Wouldn't you, I'm just saying what
I'll
you're
tell
saying.
you this. It's
but I'm
apparently
saying-
hereditary. I was in like a Target or something with my son who was like 5 at the time, and there's a big fat lady in her little hover around thing, right? And she needs a cereal on the top shelf, so she stood up out of this thing to reach for it, and my son pointed with the most accusational finger on the planet and said, "Daddy, she can walk!" Just angry as hell. Just mad as
Grow
hell
up
at
to
her.
be Walter
Yeah.
from the Big
Gold
Lebowski.
bricker.
Yeah. So apparently, it's not just me. I'm feeding that on to future generations. Sorry, world. I can't help it.
So,
Yeah,
Now-
bring him back, Noah.
I'm just thinking about my poor mother who's been in a wheelchair since before I was born, and how your nasty little
Well,
child
now
would be
it's
fucking with her at the. My mom versus your kid. Go.
But I'll tell you, once you take the brakes off those wheels, it makes them for some pretty good fucking, Noah. I'm just saying.
Wow. Okay, I'm never gonna get back now, so I'm just gonna live. There'll be a beep or something, and then we'll just show up on this scene. So exactly. There we go. So now we go back to Jimmy and his buddies, and the two less hot of the 3 hot chicks are trying to double team him, I guess, or something.
At a Jeep dealership in Purgatory? I have no idea what's happening.
The last time they were together, they were all huddled around something that looked like a Porsche. I don't think it was a Porsche, but they at least tried to make it look
They
like
tried to
one.
call it a
Now it's a
Porsche, yeah.
Jeep, so I don't know what's happening to this group. They're losing money fast.
And they sing the "We Can Fuck Whoever We Want" song, and there's just this incredible moment in this scene where they say "jumping our fears," and everyone does the widest jump you can possibly imagine at the same time. It is amazing. If you haven't watched this movie yet, watch it only for the 10th of a second. All the white people on stage go, "Eh."
I was just watching the brunette through this entire
stung
scene.
my ankles.
And apparently, okay, so I guess what they're trying to do is talk Jimmy into going to California with him to party or whatever, although they're very unclear about that. And I guess all 9 of them are leaving in the same Jeep, too.
Yeah.
That should be fun. But before he can go, he has to go back home where they've got a surprise party for him. I guess it's his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And let's talk about the gifts that these people have for him.
Okay, but before
God.
we do, can we point out the fact that each person has dressed like their gift?
Yeah, each person is wearing a costume of their gift. Mm-hmm. So,
And Julie, by the way, just had wrapped herself up, and the entire time I'm like, if she's not naked under there, I'm going to be pissed. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I kept expecting her to
We
be
all
naked.
had the same note. It's not even, it's like, of course we had the same note. The girl was hot and in nothing but wrapping paper. What did we think was under there? It was just rude not to be naked.
Yeah, and it was. In fact, it was. So the littlest one gives him Mr. Monkey Face.
Which we already learned that nobody wants. Even the mom doesn't want it. She's
Yeah,
like,
no.
Get rid of that fucking old stuffed
He's
monkey.
like, I don't want this stuffed monkey. And she's like, take the fucking stuffed monkey. We hate it. Mom, do you think the monkey's real? I'm a Mormon. I don't know what's real. Take the monkey.
It's got Zika virus. I don't want it.
And so Ernie is dressed like a chimney sweep because he's going to shine Jimmy's shoes for a year. That's his gift.
A
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good gift, actually.
Younger sister is gonna, and this also, I don't know if anyone had this. Did you guys have a wistful moment here where you were like, "Aw, Mormons! Like this is the nice part of Mormonism where they get you in."
I was
right?
going to
'Cause they
stop you
just-
at wistful now.
Right?
Yeah.
They wear costumes and they give each other presents, and that seems nice. And you just gotta compromise that with the crazy pre-cum version of heaven.
And of
no.
course,
To answer your question, Eli, no.
yeah,
Did not
nothing,
either. Nope.
nothing wistful never entered into it, didn't factor into it. It's like the Norwegian blues plumage. And then the wheelchair girl turns to him. This is his twin sister whose birthday it also is and says,
I love that you give me shit about like whatever I said before, and you can't even say her name is Pam. No, she's the wheelchair girl. Yeah, I get all the shit. Go on, Noah.
I just, well, you know, like I'm not like this fucking movie. I'm not expecting the audience to keep track of all these people's names. So
Pam, comma, the wheelchair girl.
Yeah, there
That's
you
all I'm
go.
saying. She has a name, sir.
Don't you tone police us, David. Don't you try
little
and get
Miss
out of
Crippy
this.
turns to her brother Jimmy, and she says, "Will you please kneel before me?" And I'm like, "Finally, he's going to eat her out. It's about damn time." But
Right.
no,
Doesn't matter if she can feel it. Make the alphabet with your tongue, Jim.
at least give it a try. Let's find out. But no, she made him tinfoil night stuff.
Yeah.
Because remember earlier she said the thing about the quest. No, and anyway, yeah.
And did you guys catch when she was knighting him with her little cardboard sword, that when she like tapped his shoulder, he actually said, "Ow, that hurt"?
Yeah.
I missed that. No.
Fucking pussy. But then we get to the turn. Because
this is awesome.
Mom has a surprise.
Plot's about to get going. I know it's been sounding pretty boring so far.
Apparently, Mom is pregnant again, and Jimmy is crazy pissed.
So mad that his mom fucked. He is so mad that his mom... Norman Bates would have been like, dude, you have issues. You need to let your mom live her life.
Well, this is a clear
Not
spite
helping.
pregnancy. I mean,
What?
Come on. Clearly, like, got pregnant right in his face.
Spite pregnancy, the Eli Bosnick story.
Yeah, so that Jimmy just looks her right in the eye and says, "I hope you have a fucking litter, you whore." Basically. All right,
and
I'm
then
elaborating.
Dad does the best stage slap in the history of the world. It's a uppercut. It's a uppercut stage slap, and
Backhand
Jimmy goes
uppercut.
flying like Ip Man 4: Secret of the Ooze. He flies across the room. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Mormon. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, Jimmy either got actually backhanded in the face, or best special effects of any movie that you guys have ever done before. One of those two. It was great. It was a great backhand.
So hooray for physical abuse. And then I guess Mom got so upset that she miscarried the baby.
And somehow that's Jimmy's fault? I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Dad hit the kid. I don't know. I don't get it.
You're killing your sister, Jimmy. You're killing your sister.
You made Dad hit you. Why did you make Dad hit you?
And the angel kid goes back in her cage. Back
Yes,
in primordial,
yes.
whatever the fuck.
So with that morbid turn, we're going to pause to pick our jaws back up. But before we do, let me give Act 3 the hard sell. Will Jimmy and Pam ever consummate their siblinghood? What the fuck is wrong with these people? When are they going to sing Hasadega Ibuai? Find out the answer to these questions and more when we return for the reluctant conclusion of Saturday's Warrior. All right, kids, time for bed. That's enough Saturday's Warrior for tonight.
Hey, Dad? Mom?
Yes, honey.
Well, we were thinking about the movie.
And well, what if we have a little sister in heaven waiting to be part of our family?
Oh, sweetie, that's a nice thought, but I think we have all the family we need right now.
Yeah, I wasn't really talking to you.
No,
me neither.
son.
I mean, he has a point, Dad. We don't really ask the oven if it's ready for bread. You know what I'm saying?
Is she the issue? Because we'll hold her down, Dad. We'll
What? Fuck, Jesus, Brian.
Yeah, man, way too far. But like, we will though, but still.
Okay, all right. You take the left arm, you take the right.
We should have a reality show. You see, I'm a different kind of artist. I draw what people could be. Look here.
Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah, no, I know. That strong jaw, that determined look in your eyes, that's not who you are now, but it is who you could be.
Dude, I'm also sucking your dick in this picture.
What? Oh, yeah, guess you are. Weird. But, look at the fortitude in your brow.
Dude,
That's
I'm not gonna
important.
suck your dick.
Well, nobody said you were. I haven't even mentioned it. Look, if you're getting hung up on what you're doing in the picture, I do have a few others.
Okay, so this one right here is a picture of you sucking my dick.
Dude, it's not about that. Look at the commitment to family you clearly have in your heart. Look at your chin. It's all forward, ready to face the future.
I don't want to see this. This is not, I don't.
Okay, fine. One last picture.
Is anybody sucking anybody's dick?
I feel like you're really focused. No, but there's not, I swear.
Okay. Fine, let me see it.
There, this is what you could be.
This is a picture of me taking a dump on your chest.
A confident dump on my chest.
And we're back for a reprise, and when we last saw Emily, she was being blasted out of a vagina and bloody chunks all over Mom's temple garments. So now we're literally going to start the next scene with the miscarried baby in pre-heaven upset that she didn't get to be born.
Yeah.
So the baby died. We have achieved dead baby in this movie.
Christian movie bingo.
Mormon movie bingo is pretty fucked up. If this movie's any indication, that is one fucked up bingo board right there.
I've pre-watched a couple of the movies that we've got coming up this month, and dead baby is not a bad thing to have for Mormon movie bingo, let me tell you.
Well, the best is, so there she is. You're right. She's stuck in heaven now. She's like, fuck, I didn't get a body. This sucks. And whose fault is it, everybody? The unfaithful kid in the family,
Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Jimmy, yes!
Wheelchair girl's fault.
Well, keep in mind now, Jimmy promised to keep his parents fucking before he was born,
Broke
and he didn't
his
keep
word.
his promise.
I mean,
so,
he's probably taking cues from his little sister Julie, but, this is a family that does not keep their word. That's all I'm saying.
Right. No shit. Can't trust those Mormons. So now we cut to Jimmy, and he's on the beach in San Diego some number of weeks or months or years later. They no indication whatsoever.
After murdering his little sister.
Yeah.
He ran away from home because his mom got pregnant? Is that the plot here?
Yep.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
That is accurate. Yeah.
But the good news, though, is that the black guy gets 2 lines in this scene, y'all.
Yeah.
That's 3 total.
This is where I decided he was Lil Wayne. The way he says, gonna wash away his sins. Oh, that was classic Lil Wayne.
I wrote in my notes, wait, did they all fuck each other? I like this part of the movie better.
Well, that's okay. So it's Jimmy and all of his bad friends or whatever, and it very much looks like they just threw something on after the orgy in case the cops walked by.
Yeah.
That is very much the sense you get from this scene.
And then he reads a letter from his sister who is in the hospital. This is the wheelchair sister who's in the hospital with...
She has a name, Eli. It's Pam.
I was going to give you shit if you didn't give him shit. So.
Pam, whose bottom half doesn't work. Is in the hospital with wheelchairitis? Like, we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the usual
broken
thing.
brother promise-itis, yes.
Oh, but don't worry. She got a great present from her brother at home. Did you guys get this?
Yeah.
He sent her lizards and grasshoppers?
Yes.
That sounds fun. Like, what a little prankster.
Yeah.
Sending
yeah.
lizards and grasshoppers to a hospital. That's genius.
And Julie's gonna marry Peter.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then Pam gets so fucking close to saying a good message, and then she takes a real hard right turn into not a good message, because she says, freedom is knowing who you are. As long as who you are is exactly what we want you to
right,
be.
as long as that's a Mormon, yeah.
Thought I was going to say walking, didn't you? Nope. You're such an asshole. You thought I was going to say walking. Fuck you.
I did take a moment to think about that, and I thought, yeah, if you asked a slave, hey, do you know who you are? I sure do. You're free. Yeah, that's not how this works,
no,
bro.
that's just not having amnesia. Yeah. And now we get, so his friends have left and he's sitting on the bench reading his sad letter from his hospital sister. And
what is she trying to say in that letter, by the way? Just kind of like, I wish you knew Jesus like I did because it makes me happy. Even
She
though
sure
I'm
is.
dying?
She sure is.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it.
That's the message.
Got it.
And again, there is no solid floor to the crazy. We are in free fall for this entire movie. So now we're going to get, and we've already obviously alluded to this with the interstitial and earlier. This is the scene where Todd is drawing Jimmy. It is one of the most awkward homosexual come-ons that I've ever seen in film, and I've seen a lot.
So
I lived in the Village for 4 years, and this is the weirdest gay come-on I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you didn't say it right. When you said he's drawing him, that implied that, like, he asked him to draw him. No, that is not what happened. No, we have Jimmy reading this heart-wrenching letter from his sister that's got him all banged up inside, while a stranger draws him. And when Jimmy stands up to go away, this complete stranger says, "Sit your ass back down. I'm not done yet."
Yeah.
It is weird.
And he's very demanding throughout this whole scene. He keeps like going, turn to the left. I need more profile.
Turn to the right. Unbutton your top button.
I notice your
Put your
shorts
lips out like you have a popsicle in your mouth.
Notice your shorts are covering your penis now. Trying to draw you. Is that a deal breaker? All right.
And I was so worried for, who is this? Todd, right? Mm-hmm. Todd's the one drawing. This is the creepy art dude.
Yeah.
This is the original, heaven husband of Julie.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was really worried for Todd because, we already saw what happened to Benji when he got his nose up in Jimmy's business. I was like, uh-oh, this guy is so far up in his business, he's about to get fucking murdered. But no, Jimmy, he just takes it.
Jimmy had a little crush on him. He didn't mind being a bottom for Todd, yeah. And so as they're chatting, he's going like, I hate my family because we have so many kids, and Todd wishes his mom's vagina had a turnstile too, and wishes that he could find Jesus. He actually says that, or I guess he doesn't exactly say that, but he basically says, like, I sit on this bench all the time wishing that I was Mormon, and I'm not, so, like, life could be worse.
While I'm staring at my masterpieces that I've drawn. Yeah.
Right. And he's like, so this is where we realize that he draws people's potential.
Yes.
And he shows him a picture, and Jimmy goes, "That's not me," and then we see the picture, and it's just a sketch of him. It's very clearly
him.
Just a picture of him, and he's like, "Look at your brow. Look how determined you look. Look at your forehead. That's who you could be if we fucked." And I kept waiting for him to say "if we fucked," but he never.
Well, I love too, like, everybody's potential, according to his drawings, is exactly you, only looking slightly up, like 14 degrees. That's your potential. If you were on your knees. Yeah.
And how many times did Jimmy try to walk away from this creep? Like, at least 5. And he was like, no, wait.
No means no, Todd.
What are you running away from? Tell me. Tell me more about it.
You, man.
It was like,
you don't have a pencil. That's your dick in your hand. You're just wiping it back and forth across that paper.
You don't come to a park in the clouds and tease a guy like that. Fucked up.
But I'm afraid the laughs are going to have to die down, guys. Because what happens next?
Well, first of all, I want to point out that this is the first time in a movie I've ever seen a film cut from the scene we're watching to the exact same scene, right? So, I guess, because Jimmy leaves the bench, and then we cut to Jimmy sitting on the bench. I'm like, guys, even like Ed Wood would like move over to the other side of that set.
Right. No, he lives in the park now. Don't make fun
of him.
I
see. I gotcha.
Yeah. Go on.
So, and then the hot, cool-out brunette chick shows up for a second to tell him he needs to call his mom, and then she's gone because fuck this movie.
Right. And then he goes to the payphone where it begins to fake rain, and I wrote in my notes, "Oh, I cannot wait for this fake rain." And indeed, it is just some guy up in the rafters spraying a hose directly down on Jimmy. Not even on like a sprinkler setting, too. It's just like a single jet of water hitting him in the back of the neck.
I don't want to get my thumb wet.
Set it to sprinkler, Brian. Fuck you. All right, fine.
Yeah, can we also, it went from broad daylight to night. Like when the water started. So I think it was just like, how do we make it look like that? You just turn that light off.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay, we turn the light off. We get the hose. Okay, perfect. Right.
And we learned
the fucking payphone.
And we learned that Pamela died from not having a Mormon twin anymore.
Well, right. And that's my goddamn note here. I wrote, he needs to call home. I bet Pam's dead because that would be perfectly insane. Yep. Those are my notes.
She died of atheist brother disease. That's what happens.
We then cut to heaven where she's with her little sister, and her little sister's like, how is Earth? And I wanted her so badly to be like, not great. I couldn't walk. Really? Don't you love to dance? Yeah, I do. We talked about that. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
Well, but also, I mean, do Mormons go back to pre-heaven when they die?
I guess.
Isn't there supposed to be a
it's
different...
Maybe because there was still a sister there. She had to. I don't know. You know what? I don't think Mormons know either. I really
feel like
don't.
You need to do
I don't
more
think
research.
No one's ever thought this through because it's just no way to make it make sense.
I bet that's in the last half of Doctrines and Covenants. I bet it explains the whole damn thing, you quitter.
Damn it! I gave up too soon.
Oh, and we should point out that we're back in pre-heaven, which means that we now have to fucking shoot the scene through a fucking petri dish again. I mean, Sybil Shepherd would tell you to wipe that shit off the lens, guys. This is ridiculous.
But they were starting to conserve on dry ice. It wasn't nearly as, I don't know, smoky? Is that the word?
Blacked out with more clarity than this shot.
So now we get the Jimmy on a Bench song.
I called it the most upbeat suicide song ever.
So, and my note here, too, on the music here is Jimmy off time, or is the guy with that bell just ringing a bell? I mean, is that not related? Is that the ice cream man outside? Right. Fucking
the polo
ridiculous.
Shirt budget for this movie was tens of millions of dollars. I don't know about anything else.
It's where all the special effects money went. Yeah, uh-huh.
So is this a song where suddenly he sees his cool friends and they're like, hey, do you want to have an awesome life? Come this way. And then it shows his dead sister and his never existing sister. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, over here. And I'm like, wait, so he is supposed to kill himself? What choice are you asking him to make? I don't get it.
And then there's his family. They appear.
Yep, they're there
too. They want
too.
him back. And I wrote in my notes, I want a fourth light to appear with that gay guy from the park so badly. Just like, Jimmy. Oh, what's this? An abandoned movie theater? Jimmy. Just like all the temptations start to appear, just like...
Can we just start a GoFundMe just to give Eli crazy billionaire money?
Yeah, well, we have
all
it.
Of these are great ideas.
Unfortunately, they won't let you on Patreon. They won't let you put $1 billion as one of your goals.
Anita Sarkeesian ruined it for everybody.
Now, see, honestly, I gotta be honest, through this whole scene, I had no ability to, think or write anything because the entire time I'm just screaming at my fucking computer, down and another don't rhyme. That's all I could handle. So now, just to make sure that you understand how dark we're being, we're gonna go to Pam's funeral.
Everyone's wearing black, and Jimmy wore a black leather jacket for the occasion.
Yeah.
I actually wrote, you douchebag, it's your twin sister, put a suit on.
Gay Rasta gypsy pirate biker costume would have been more appropriate at this point.
And they had one. He had access to one. And then, of course, we have the joyous funeral hug. Everybody's so happy that Jimmy showed up. They kind of forgot about the...
I wanted them to trample her grave, knock over the stone and fucking wait 1 second, I gotta take a shit. I'm so happy to see you, Jimmy.
One more.
Everything's better with poop jokes.
Thank you.
And meanwhile, you guys remember Wally and the fat guy? Well, apparently so did the writer just now, because apparently they're back in the movie.
The Mormons.
Yeah.
And what are you talking about, fat guy? Because the first thing he says is, why don't we have any baptisms? I've been fasting for so long. No, you have not, sir. No, you have not.
You didn't fast before you walked out on stage, dude.
Yeah, right. Christian
You're
Bale,
still
you
eating
ain't.
a sandwich.
So they're still depressed because they haven't managed to baptize a single person. It's almost like they've been sent on a useless, stupid fucking mission that wasted 2 years of their lives. But the fat guy's not giving up because he's taking every opportunity to put his face on Wally's dick. I mean, there's 9 times where he's like, what if my character just hugged up on your leg and started grinding against it?
Guys, we need to just go through the script. No more of this body improv. It's not working. We're running out of film. We are running out of literal film. We have 8 hours of you guys wrestling that never turned into a scene.
So for the rest of this scene, if you imagine that Wally and the fat man were somehow trying to find a third man to join a threesome, right?
Yeah.
They were just going to get this going. Now, at this moment, Walleye's just like, we're never going to find the next guy. We just can't make it happen. But the fat man says, whoa, what about Todd over there on the bench?
Yeah.
And then I believe his response was, I've seen him every day, but he isn't my type.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, wait, I was only in my head joking about the whole threesome thing, but now I'm not sure what's going on. What are they doing?
Now, I gotta point this out because this is one of my favorite things that's ever happened. This is an audio note, again, the podcaster and me coming out. When they go over to talk to Todd about Mormonism and try to sell him on their church or whatever, the two actors start whispering because no one knew how to reduce the audio in post. I shit you not. And because like their sounds, their shuffling is still the same volume, and they're going, "Hi there, we're Mormons, and we'd like you to join the Mormon Church." It's fucking hilarious.
But they also couldn't let you hear what they were actually saying
because it would have been fucking
even
crazy.
more ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where we get the proselytization montage, and this montage is everything I ever wanted. They hand him the book, and he looks at it, and he's like, oh, this doesn't seem like bullshit. Then they use the fat guy's stomach as a projection screen.
He's not making this up.
No.
This actually happened.
Amazing.
They
For
stomp
no
on
reason.
his cigarettes,
Uh-huh.
and I wrote, yeah, smokers love that, right?
No, he gets into it. He's just like, let me stomp on some. Yeah, fuck you, cigarettes. I hate you too.
And also, by the way, we are 3/4 of the way through, and everybody who is listening to this episode that didn't see this movie is not even aware that Todd has no chin. We have not even mentioned his chinlessness.
No, it is something.
You remember that
He's
lady
like,
who got her face eaten off by a monkey?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. This is what the monkey was going for. The monkey saw this movie, like she had Saturday's Warrior playing, and he was like, oh, your face is all wrong. Let me fix that for you. That's why you gotta shoot him. You gotta shoot him early.
Imagine like skin going from lip to nipple, like just all the way.
Yeah,
that's
just shaped
basically
like a
what
light
you're looking
bulb.
at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, light bulb. There it is, light bulb head.
And by the way, back when Nexus was happening, we're up in New York. I sat through this Mormon pitch in Central Park just so I could get a free Book of Mormon because I knew we were going to do that.
Yes, you did. Uh-huh.
And I never got to watch a movie projected onto a fat guy's belly. That's some bullshit.
Rip off.
I could be Mormon by now. I probably
Right.
murdered several more unborn children since then. Like, that's just sloppy.
And also, this is where they get so super excited that they reprise the ritual disembowelment song. And I just had this thought. This actually occurred to me during the interstitial. I bet what happened is that the fucking writer looked in a thesaurus under sacrifice and found Harry Carey.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet that's how they found, and he's like, fuck, that rhymes perfect.
No, guys, actually, they just got married. Did you guys not know that? That's what happened at the end of that song.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. They're a thing now. So, and we'll find that out later.
Yes, we
at
will.
The final airport scene. Yeah, these two are, they're Mormon married.
I okay. All right. That makes this whole fucking movie make sense. Yeah.
I think they call it temple married. And if you disagree with me, send all of your emails to Eli. All right.
There you go. And so now we cut back over to Julie's room. She's getting ready for her wedding, but apparently she's getting cold feet. She can't marry Peter because she's holding off for a little no illusions.
Right.
Sir, I will keep that hair
Are
standing
you
up
sure
for you,
it was
lady.
Peter? I lost track of all the dudes Julie might or might not be marrying. So yeah, I don't know.
She has this
Somebody.
moment where she's sitting in her room crying, and they come out and they're like, hey, are you, and I'm like, sad about your sister dying? And she's like, no, it's about my wedding. It's like, well, I guess we all got over that. Awful
We got over
fucking
that by the
quick.
time Jimmy got there with his leather jacket.
Yeah.
And when her parents ask her why she has, like, are you sure it's not just doubts? Which, what do you mean just doubts? Like, doubts are enough.
Yeah,
Not-
that's...
but her response is no, it's so much deeper than that. And I leaned in, like, go on.
Deeper.
And that was it. That's all we
yeah,
got. It's
no.
deeper.
I was, believe me, as soon as she said deeper, I was hooked too, but no.
I
it's just-
kind of think that was her way of saying, Mom and Dad, once you go black.
There's a second G spot, Mom. I've been trying to tell you. It's at the it's near the pelvis. I can't describe it.
Right by the esophagus.
I can't describe it.
So now we cut to Todd. He's now 3/4 of the way through the Book of Mormon, and suddenly it all makes sense to him. He looks up and he goes, "Oh, I see. I was alive before I was alive." So I'm just curious, in your experience, Dave, is that how it works? How far in were you before you realized that you were pre-born?
It was something that moment where he looked up and said, "I never knew that I could know the truth," and you just saw him just fucking mentally orgasming.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was that happened at least 3 times during the show.
Yeah.
It's something else. If you never really once you hear how the submarines worked, 3,000 years ago.
Those are the
Hebrew. My God.
The Hebrew
it sounded so bad, but now that I'm reading it, whoa, mind blown.
And this is where I realized he looked like one of those like Snapchat filters where you get to blend 2 faces, but it's of an ass and Patrick Swayze. Like just an ass and Patrick Swayze.
You've wanted a name for him this whole fucking time, David. It's Assy Swayze. That's him.
That was it.
He kind of looks like Anthony Edwards, like transitioned into a lesbian Koopa Troopa. He's got a little bit of that going on too.
A little of that too. So now we get our 16th song, and no, it's not the Mario theme, unfortunately. This is the one where Julie and Todd are now singing from different coasts, and he's wandering into her bedroom and she's wandering into the park because they're just on a stage together or whatever. And I wrote in my notes, this is the worst it's been. I don't think it can be worse. It was. That's what I'd written in my notes at that point. But
so it made it seem like these two knew each other at this point, right? Like twice now we've seen them in the same song. You think they have something to do with each other? We find out later, no, that's not the case.
Yeah, they have never once met.
No.
Yeah. So this is all just like this is their soul singing.
Yeah, because they're soulmates, you see.
Soul. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's no soul in their singing, but they are soulmates. So
yes, that's definitely, you do need to point that out.
Yeah.
No soul in singing.
No, just the black guy, and he only gets to sing backup. So now we go.
He has a name. It's Lil Wayne.
It's Pan.
It's Toby.
It's funnier.
Toby.
Toby.
It's definitely Toby.
Oh, so many Exmos are listening to this show for the first time. They're so upset.
Oh no, they probably love
don't know
that
what
one.
That means. Come on. They're more
that wasn't a
innocent than
Mormon
that.
movie. They're not allowed to watch Roots. That has black people in it. So
they're called Lamanites, sir.
They can't watch Lamanite exploitation. Come on. So now we cut to Julie. She's at the airport. She's broken Peter's heart, and she wants to rebound fuck Wally when he shows up at the airport, I guess.
Yeah.
But not that bad.
And Harold's there, and Harold basically walks up and he's like, "Hey, I'm interested in taking Wally's sloppy seconds or Peter's or thirds or whatever it is. Look, what I'm saying is I'll scrape out the tray at the end of the buffet. I'll take what you can get."
Dude, Harold breaks the bro code hardcore.
Oh, doesn't he?
I mean, he sees her and he's like, "Wait, you're my best friend's, you're that girl he's in love with. Wanna fuck?" It was just immediately.
Harold
Total
knows an
douchebag.
important truth. Cum is the best lube.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what? He is a good buddy. I stand corrected. Just getting it prepped.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Everybody needs a fluffer.
He's just preheating the oven for his friend Wally.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and okay, so she's there to meet him at the airport. So, apparently so is Harold. That's the 80s Josh Gad guy that was trying to suck his dick through the rest of the movie, because I guess he got done with his mission 2 weeks before Wally. But Wally has a surprise.
No, and don't forget, they are married now. I already told you guys. They're totally Mormon married.
Well, yeah.
Happy couple.
Again,
I will be validated.
Yes.
You're going to see it.
This relationship will be consummated before this movie is over. But we don't know that yet. Or at least he doesn't want to tell Julie that, because I guess he's not all the way gay, Wally. So maybe still wants a little pussy on the side, I guess. I don't know. But he says, well, I'm here because Wally said he's bringing a surprise. And I'm assuming that he meant, his man meat, but they don't really get into that. So then he arrives at the airport, and we know this because the lady...
I'm sorry. I'm laughing thinking about it. All right, go ahead.
No, this is how it worked back in the 80s. I'm sure you remember, Dave. This is how airports were. The fucking woman at the airport says, I was paid to make this announcement by a guy who's on a fucking airplane until just now. Did he just throw money down on the way or something?
Pre-9/11 America. Pre-9/11 America.
I also want you to remember, the only person he's expecting to be there is his fat fuck friend.
Right.
Little bitch boy.
Yeah.
Right? He is not expecting anyone else.
Oh,
So
that's
he
right.
somehow prepares in advance, calls an airport, finds out who's going to be on staff at that gate, and then pays for them to say, "Here comes the most humble man ever." Yeah, that is what that bitch says.
Yes.
Here comes the humble motherfucker. It was fantastic. I was like, you do not know what that word means,
No,
people.
marsupial, heracary, precept, none of them. So
God.
now this is where David is totally vindicated in his marriage suggestion here. Because when he gets to the airport, Julie runs to hug him. He goes right by her and throws his arms around Harold.
Oh, he pushes that bitch aside. Don't say right by. She gets a nudge.
Yeah, no, he dodges her like a running back.
Yeah, she gets a straight arm.
And I guess he brought...
Bo knows Mormonism.
That's old
Sports
school.
joke.
That's old school,
Sports
man.
joke.
Well done. And I think it's from the 80s, too. So apparently... and I didn't know this, David. You'll have to fill us in on this. When you baptize someone on your mission, you bring them home with you like a dog.
I told you. It's also validating my threesome in the park theory.
Right.
Right? It's all coming
Harold,
together.
I've got a
in this scene.
surprise for you.
So, just real quick, I'm curious, do, like, the successful missionaries show up at the airport with, like, hundreds of African people when that they baptize?
They usually take a boat in that case.
Just wanted JB Smoove to step off to the tarmac. We're bringing him home.
They would probably get a lot more converts if they opened with, "Get a green card."
Yeah, right,
That would
right.
help quite a bit.
We'll take you back to, wow, you guys all really got interested in this book. That guy's still eating it. That guy is still
We'll take
eating
you
it.
to Salt Lake City. So now this is where, like, Todd and Julie see each other for the first time. Now, these were the guys that we started
This
the
is
movie
probably
off
the
with.
weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, yeah, if you try to imagine this in the real world, yeah, but we started this whole movie off with the two of them in love in heaven or whatever. They haven't seen each other until this moment. They lock eyes. Now, Wally, meantime, has been like, "Oh, it's the woman that I love, and she's back for me. Are you here for me?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm here to love you again." And then she sees Todd, and she's like, "You know what? Never mind. Hold on. Hold on. Something about this lack of chin and cunnilingus. I feel like this is going to work."
Yeah.
Well, the best is that Wally actually introduces Todd, right?
Yeah,
He's like, "Todd, here's my fiance.
Yes,
The woman
yes.
I'm going to marry." And Todd's like, "Get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to fuck this woman, and I don't care if you watch.
I'm going
It is
to rail this woman
unbelievable."
in front of you, Wally. In front of you. I just wrote, you guys going to go ahead and fuck in the airport bathroom, aren't you?
Yeah, the closest you are going to get to this pussy is if I let you suck my dick when I'm done. That is exactly what Todd's face looks
And
like.
Harold
right
goes,
there.
"Okay, I'm in.
And I want to point out a terrifying thing about this, because this seems like a crazy scene, but this is actually a problem for Mormons, because, like, this is a belief in Mormonism that you have these pre-heaven soulmates, and so Mormon men stalk Mormon women all the time because
Yes.
they believe this is true, and, like, murder them and don't leave them alone and follow them all over the country and all over the world
Not
because
necessarily
of
in
this
that order.
idea. And a lot of it apparently originates, like, at least in the modern understanding, with this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, it's been in the church doctrine and in church ideas, but it really first got propagated for the current generation, which is super problematic in this movie, because a lot of young men were like, "Oh my gosh, I felt that way when I saw the girl in my 3rd grade math class. I'm gonna follow you around for fucking ever."
I think the most disturbing thing about that fact is that a significant portion of the Mormon populace saw this movie.
Whoa.
That's pretty
I mean,
terrifying.
Thanks for the buzzkill, guys. I don't feel like laughing anymore.
Yeah,
That's
right,
just-
right. Okay,
that's
well,
just sad.
And you gotta really picture a scared Mormon girl. It makes the whole thing a lot funnier.
Actually, you know,
Marshmallow
I'm
square?
back.
Marshmallow squirrel?
Yeah. Put both hands up to the square, bitch. There you go. All right, I'm back. I'm back here.
There we
I'm
go.
back.
back in,
Now,
yeah,
of
thank
course, this is also the scene where, Wally is heartbroken again, because apparently Julie basically just showed up to rub it in. But that's when Harold takes his chance to drag Wally off and fuck him in a closet.
Yeah, he's like, "We can be roommates at BYU." And just
Literally
drags him off.
dragging him.
Yes, literally drags
dragging.
him off stage. Yeah, kicking and screaming. It's like, "No, dude, you're getting the dick now."
And what did he say about her? He's like, she's history. Come on, Wally. Wally. She's history. Let's go. Yeah, he's just like, finally, I got all the women out of the way. Yeah. It's me and you. I actually think, now that I think about it, maybe the fat man planted Todd in the park.
Oh, yeah.
All part of his master plan.
Well, he's like the Joker from Batman.
Well, yeah, even better, because they did hint at the fact earlier in the movie that he remembers Wally from pre-heaven, so maybe he remembered Todd and Julie too. I mean, they were in that scene as well. So yeah, he's been setting this whole thing up. Yeah. So now we cut back to pre-heaven, where apparently Emily is finally going to get a chance to live. Because 52-year-old mom is having her 8th baby.
And I wanted so bad. Crazy Billionaire Money, I remake this, and when she has the little sister in the yellow dress, she just comes out like with one eye hanging out of her skull, and she's like, kill me! Blackout.
I was confused though, because it's like, okay, wait. I
just
thought
forcing her way through that husk of a vagina.
Born, and it didn't work, and now you get to be born again? Like, did mom miscarry before? Was that not a... I don't know.
She sucked the egg back up into her sack, and then she shot it back down again.
But here's the thing, though. If you follow the theology that this movie presents, this movie has a very pro-abortion message, because what they're saying is when you abort the baby, they just go back to pre-heaven and wait until the next vagina is available.
Right.
So I don't think they meant that, but I like that take on it.
Yeah, just keep killing it until the time's right. It's fine. Same soul. You're good.
There you go.
I just wanted Jimmy to walk in holding hands with like the gay biker pirate, and Emily dies again all of a sudden. God damn it.
So mom is going into labor. We cut back down to the Dugars' living room, and mom's going into labor, and it's one of those, I'm going to have the baby this second kind of thing, so they don't bother getting in the car. She's going to have the baby right there on the couch.
Oh, no, don't let dad get away with this.
Yeah.
She shakes, he's asleep on the couch. She shakes him awake and says, I just had a really bad contraction. And his response is, okay, I'm sorry. And goes right back to sleep. I love that guy. Yeah, great backhand, and he knows how to tell
and he kicked the fuck out of RoboCop before he was RoboCop. He shot his hand and everything. So
he is RoboCop.
And then okay, so yeah, now they're gonna deliver the baby right there on the couch, which is pretty fucking awkward for the son that's gonna have to like pluck shit out of his mom's vagina, but whatever. Luckily the power goes out so that he doesn't have to see what he's doing. He just feels around in there.
Yeah, at this point, mom's vagina is just a gray slip and slide.
And they had no idea. None of the writers knew what to write in this scene, so they're like, well, what did your wife say? And so they wrote in, you did this to me. That's what she screamed.
And it's one of those nice, easy 4-second deliveries because that vag has been widened out by 7.5 kids or 6.5 in a miscarriage.
And I honestly kind of thought a 5-year-old was going to pop out. Like,
in a yellow dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. But what actually popped out was way more disturbing because, listen, I have 2 kids. I know what they look like when they first come out. That really looked like a fresh baby.
Yes!
That's too real.
Usually movies get like a 7-year-old and they're like, here's the baby. Right. That was a real newborn. I don't know how they arranged. Someone hung out at a BYU hospital and was like, can we borrow this for just a minute? Thanks.
You know what though? My guess is when you're Mormon, somebody always has a spare newborn for your musical,
There was somebody in the crew that just popped a baby out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Todd, and Todd has a sword, and then the movie's
Does
over.
he? It's not a sword.
No.
This isn't like a little rapier. This is fucking He-Man raising it for the power of Grayskull.
I wanted him so badly to get hit by lightning and be just in his underwear and then get fucked by Todd over the credits. Just Todd comes over in a bad Skeletor mask and just like, Snarf! Harold comes in a Snarf costume and just can't stop watching. Snarf, Snarf, Snarf!
And that's it. It all wraps up there. Would anyone care to take a stab at what the moral of this story was?
Every time you jerk off, someone in heaven has to walk back slowly with an old lady being like, I don't know, man, it was like a big pillow. It was like a big pillow, and there was a giant choking himself and saying, David Smalley, David Smalley, David Smalley. It wasn't great. I don't think I want to go back to that planet. I think I'll stay up here in this vape shop.
All right, so now, as we've already indicated, somebody out there in the universe saw this movie and thought to themselves, holy shit, do we need to do that again? Because, yes, there was actually a version of this movie that was re-released this year. And as terrifying as that is, it did get me excited about all the possibilities of, like, terrible old religious movie remakes. So to wrap the thing up today, I want to ask you this. Of all the shit that we've reviewed, what movie would you most like to see remade with modern effects, and who would you cast?
Okay, well, we haven't watched it yet, but I want to go with The 10 Commandments remade with Ted Nugent. Yeah, crazy gun guy, super political.
Yeah, no, he would fit right into that role, yeah.
Solid.
I'm going to go with Loving the Bad Man with Bill Cosby. I would watch that over and over and over. Zoop, zop, rape you, zoop.
With the Jell-O pudding. Well, that's what it feels like.
I don't know if I can top that, Heath. That's fantastic. I would have to say, if what was it? If footmen tire you, what will horsemen do? Or horses do something? Yeah, that one. That movie, directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
there were so many like just Christian slaughter scenes that just were not done well enough. And then also, they like went all in on the wrong scenes, right? So there were some where it was like, we're gonna shove bamboo in his ears. And they would show that, but then it was like, shoot your mom. And they didn't show that. So I was like, man, I think Samuel L. Jackson could be the mean Nazi / commie guy, whatever.
Does Fidel Castro look like a bitch to you?
Come on, you guys see it. Crazy Billionaire Money. Let's do that. That movie needs to be made.
Well, David, I've got to say, we've asked a lot of people on this show before, and honestly, like, usually I feel kind of bad. I felt really bad when I watched this fucking movie, so I cannot thank you enough for taking the time out. And I'd like to thank you in advance for not, like, mailing me bombs and stuff for it.
Well, I gotta admit, it was, it was awful to watch. It took me like 5 days, actually. It was not, I didn't just hit play. I mean, I had to take a lot of breaks. And, so yeah, the whole time I really was just pretty pissed at all of you. But then we got to record together and I think it kind of, I'm gonna say we're almost even. We're almost even because this was a lot of fun.
This is like the debate from the atheism movie where he's like, I hated you, I cried, I considered killing you, and now I'm here on this podcast.
Next time let's legitimately do something live, right? Let's do a Mystery Science Theater to one of these, and I'm in. But this watch by yourself and take notes business. Oh, that is hardcore.
And if you don't mind, just to be official here, it was a coincidence that right after you started watching this movie, you quit podcasting altogether, right? That's not entirely our fault?
Yeah?
I was going to edit in you saying yes one way or the other, so I'm glad you made it easy.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could blame it on you, huh? That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of that angle.
Yeah, it's a popular thing to do in podcasting these days.
And I didn't retire from podcasting. I just retired from hosting. Right.
Yeah, a professional podcasting guest now. Yeah, right on.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, bro. And, well, that does it for our review of Saturday Warrior. That's not going to do it for our episode just yet because we still need to sucker you back in next week. So tell us, Eli, what's on deck?
We got a Mormon movie double feature.
Yes, we do.
The most requested movie for Mormon Month has been Johnny Lingo. The story of a peasant girl who gets bought for 8 cows, and that's a good thing.
Now, of course, the problem with this one is it's like 25 minutes long. Yeah. So we felt like they felt the need to tack on a second movie as well.
Mm-hmm. And that is
or video or whatever.
Cipher in the Snow, which appears to be a cautionary tale about Mormon parenting and how your kid will die if you're not Mormon enough or something.
So we had a little bit of that in this week's movie as well. Yeah. So I guess with all that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 42 to a merciful close, but not before I thank the mellifluous David Michael for hanging out with us tonight. If you'd like to hear more of his sexy voice, check out the archives, I guess, of My Book of Mormon. You'll find it linked on the show notes for this episode. Once again, a huge thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/godawful and thereby earn early access to every episode. You can also help us a ton by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoyed this show, be sure to check out our sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist and The Skeptocrat, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. All the music used in this episode was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Drafts on Mars and was used with permission. If you like what you hear more by following the link on the show notes to this episode. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lugeons, promising to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with a Breakfast Club close.
Emily kept getting miscarried until she finally got sent to a lesbian couple by accident. The lady with the clipboard got fired.
About damn time. Eventually, Julie found Todd's homoerotic sketchbook and set out to break Wally's heart yet again.
Shelley gave up on religion and, like all ex-Mormons, just got crazy, super, upsettingly, world-shatteringly hot and then friended me on Facebook, like, whatever. And I'm like, go, fuck you, Shelley, fuck you. Like, I had a goddamn spam bot over here, but your marshmallow making slightly damn it. It's fine.
Who is Shelley?
I don't remember. I think it's the second youngest sister.
Yeah, you could probably cut all that out. It wasn't as fun now that I said it. Anyway. You know what? It happens so often in Mormonism. You're like, oh, this is a fun fact. And then you say it and you're like,
no,
there's just
that
nothing
wasn't
fun about this fucking religion. That's not fun at all. Okay, moving on.